Hello. My name is Melissa. Welcome to the video. As you can tell from the title, I'm going to be teaching you how to do some back to school life hacks. It's just kind of a quicker way to do makeup and do minimal makeup. Obviously, you are not going to get a full glam face of makeup in like 5 minutes. And if you can, let me know how, because I want that. I'm also really excited because I decided for the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to be uploading some videos. I haven't decided if they're going to be 2 a week or 1, but they're going to be all back to school related. So there's this one, then there's going to be, not particularly in this order, there's going to be some kind of back to school outfits and how to plan your outfits. Then there's going to be how to prepare breakfasts ahead of time so that you're not rushing to make one or you're not eating a really unhealthy breakfast because it's really fast to make. And then there's also going to be time management, because I like to think I'm pretty good at time management, and especially after school, I was always really good about managing my time so I could do my homework and still cool down for the night. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that stupid YouTube stuff, and then let's get into the video. So the first one I'm going to be showing you is pretty easy. Obviously, you do your face routine, you clean it and moisturize, and then we're going to do highlighter. Highlighter is generally like the last step, but a lot of times if you just put highlighter on, it looks like you put some effort into your face. So the highlighter I'm going to be using is a liquid highlighter from MAC, but I know that L'Oreal makes a pretty good one called LumiGlow, I think it is, and I think CoverGirl and probably even e.l.f. and Wet n Wild make them too. So if you don't want to be spending a ton of money on your easy makeup look, then I suggest getting one of those because I've heard pretty good things. I'm just going to take some highlighter, put it on my hand, and put it on the normal places of the face. So the cheekbones, nose, you can do some on the forehead too, and you really don't need a lot with this. It just kind of adds a little bit of a dewy look. I'm just going to put some right here. So after you have your highlighter, we're just going to do a little bit of mascara. So after mascara, you're just going to add a little bit of chapstick or tinted lip gloss or something. I'm using Tarte's Rainforest of the Sea. It's called the Lip Quench Rescue, so it's really hydrating and just has a little bit of color. It's also a really sheer one, so you can't particularly tell. And look number 1 is done. That took about 3 minutes, maybe, probably less, but I'm giving a little bit extra time on there. So really easy to do. Obviously, it doesn't look like you're wearing a ton of makeup. So because I have really sensitive facial features and I'm going to be doing a couple more looks with mascara anyway, I'm not going to take my mascara off, but I'll definitely still include it in the time. So next, we are going to do tinted moisturizer and mascara. So you can use any tinted moisturizer you want. It can just be called a tinted moisturizer. It could be the BB or the CC cream. And you can probably even do a light foundation, but for my purposes, I'm going to be doing a tinted moisturizer. Also, if you do not have a tinted moisturizer, I've learned you can mix your liquid foundation with a facial moisturizer. Don't use body lotion or something because it'll definitely clog your pores. But let's do it. And look 2 is done. So it took about 2 minutes, depending on how fast you are putting your mascara on. The good thing about tinted moisturizer is that you put it on just like regular moisturizer, And as you can see, it kind of just mutes any residual color you have on your face. So it's definitely a good one if you're okay with light coverage or if you really don't want a full coverage look. So look number 3 is definitely the most time consuming look that I have come up with for you, but you can kind of learn to do all of these steps very quickly. So this one includes your moisturizer and primer if you use it, and then you're also going to do your foundation, your powder, your mascara, and a little bit of blush. So let's go. And for school, I definitely did more than this. If I did makeup and if I didn't want to waste my time, I just didn't do any makeup because I didn't really know how to do it fast. I still usually don't. So now we're going to go in with our powder. So we're just going to take a brush and dust our powder on. I almost always put powder on because I get very oily, so it kind of helps mattify the situation. Also, because I realized I wasn't keeping you up to date, the foundation that I've been using is Smashbox Studio Skin 15 Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation in the shade 1.0, and I am using Maybelline's Fit Me Loose powder in the shade Fair. It's also what I bake with, so obviously you can tell it's a little bit lighter on me. Usually I have bronzer and stuff on too, but I don't have any other foundation, or I don't have any loose powders at the moment, so this is what I'm using. And then I am going to be using NARS blush in the shade Orgasm, but you can use whatever blush you want. I'm going for a more peachy tone because that's what I think looks best on me. And then you're going to be doing mascara, which I use Rimmel London's Scandaleyes Curve Alert. And you're done. That took me about 5 minutes, and it would probably take you anywhere between 5 and 10, depending on how fast you can do it. On to our second to last look, concealer and brows. So take whatever concealer you have. Okay, so I tried using my Shape Tape and it didn't really work, so I'm going to be using my other concealer. Fortunately, I do not know the name. However, generally I don't usually use pencil concealers anyway, so. And you really want to cover up any zits you have. I know it's tempting to put it all over your face, but unfortunately, sometimes you just gotta deal with what you got. So you can use your fingers, but I am going to blend it in with my Real Techniques makeup sponge. So after you blend your concealer in, you are just going to really quickly do your brows. This look should really only take a couple minutes, depending on how quickly you go. Some people obviously don't go as quickly or can't go as quickly, but once you kind of get the hang of it, it goes a little faster. And this look is done. Clearly, it does not really look like you're wearing anything, which is kind of the point. It only took me about 3 minutes, and on to the last one. So this one is best done when your moisturizer is still a little bit wet, but you're just going to take a little bit of your powder and dust it on. Really, this doesn't do any kind of coverage or anything unless you have a full coverage powder, but I like it because it kind of mattifies the skin. So if you have oily skin, it's very helpful. And that's it. So obviously, like I said, not full coverage or anything, but it does mattify your skin, so it definitely helps you look a little less oily throughout the day. So that is it for the little makeup tutorial. However, I do have a few other little suggestions for keeping your makeup looks going through the day. I personally think most of these are lifesavers, so hopefully you think that too. The first one is blotting papers. Now, unfortunately, I do not have them while I'm filming. They are in my bathroom and in all of my purses. I have an oily face, so it's really convenient to just take the blotting papers and blot around where it's oily. In case you don't know what blotting papers look like, I will put up a picture now. And there are tons from plenty of brands. I think there are high-end brands that make them, and there are also drugstore brands that make them. I will put a little circle around the one that I use because currently I'm blanking on the name, but I know there are also ones from e.l.f. and I think a few others, and I highly, highly suggest them. If you don't have blotting papers, you can always use a little bit of toilet paper or paper towel. Another lifesaver is powder. Just like this look right now, it just makes your face look a little more matte and helps to lessen the oil on your face. So any of the makeup hacks I did give you, you can use powder on still, and it just kind of refreshes your makeup look throughout the day. Another lifesaver is concealer. I didn't use my Shape Tape, but if you have any sudden breakouts that you notice throughout the day, or your makeup starts rubbing off and you don't have any of your foundation or anything with you, then it's really easy to just dab on a little bit of concealer and cover it up so that your makeup still looks pretty good throughout the day. Probably my favorite of these life hacks is something I am completely obsessed with. It's chapstick or hydrating lip gloss. Now, you can get a chapstick that's tinted, like my little lip glosses here, or you can just get a regular one like the Burt's Bees that I have. I really like chapstick. It's a really nice, hydrating feeling, obviously, on your lips, and also, if you're wearing it, it kind of seems like you're wearing makeup too to some people, because your lips are just a little shinier. That is it. So make sure you stay tuned for my next back to school videos. And if you enjoyed this, please share it, please comment on it, and please like it. Let me know if you stayed this far into the video. And if you try these out, let me know. Obviously, I've said it before, I'll say it forever again. I love being told if somebody tries out what I suggest to them. So I think that's it. So hopefully I'll catch you in my next